Alright, tubes. It's Friday night here and we got us a little project going on. I don't know if I've ever showed this before, but we got an 89 Foxbody here. It's a project car. So we're working on the project. What we're going to do is we're going to replace the fuel tank. So this might not necessarily be a how-to, but I'm just going to show you what we're doing. We already popped the fuel cap out and undid the filler neck up, up there. I'll show you that later, but like I say, it's not necessarily going to be a how-to. And we bled the pressure off the fuel system up the Schroeder valve under the hood. So same deal. I mean, maybe I'll show you that, maybe I won't, but I'm just going to kind of show you what we're doing here. So what we have to do first is obviously we have to get the old tank out, and so we're just going around and spraying down bolts wherever we can find them. There's a couple bolts up there on the filler tube. There's bolts over here holding the tank on and holding the straps on and the cover on, and various other things. So that's what we're working on right now. Not a whole lot to see at the moment, but we will keep you updated.
Up to this pinhole.
So stand by. All right, so we've reached the stage of disconnecting the fuel lines, and what we have, there's two of them. There's the return line, and there is the non-return line, aka the line that I can't think of the name for.
You might
whatever.
Not stand that close.
But yeah, I probably shouldn't stand so close because we just had an episode. Fuel started coming out, obviously. Everywhere.
All over me.
But basically, there's a little clip on them. Once you pull the little clip out, then they come out like that. This one wasn't as entertaining as the other one, though. The other one, yeah, it got us good. So there's that. So we're gonna get those off, and then once that's done, yeah, that's the little clip that I'm talking about. Just goes and keeps it from coming off. But yeah, so we're gonna keep moving here. Pretty soon we'll be ready to actually drop the tank. What do you think? All right.
I think we're better off just taking it off the tank.
Inevitably, one of the connectors has a clip broken off, so we got a hooked pick in there, trying to pop them out. Because I showed you those connectors. They have the two tabs, so the handle broke off, and so basically the two tabs, they're still connected, but they're going to have to come out sort of like one at a time. So we're going to try and get that out. Worst case scenario, we can probably drop the tank down enough to get the connector off the tank and go about it that way. But we're gonna see what we can do here. All right, time for a brief update here. We got the straps down. They were just two bolts. They're 14 millimeters on each strap, and they just fold out of the way like so. So now we're bringing the tank down. We took our we got these these big jack stands here, and we got them under the tank. And right now the only thing actually holding the tank is the filler neck, because the filler neck goes into the tank. So the most desirable situation would be is if we can wiggle the filler neck out of the tank.
It's going a little bit.
At the moment it might be moving a little bit, but we're going to keep playing around with it, and we'll show you when we get it out. Alright, tubes. You might notice that our lighting is a little bit better now, and that is due to the fact that it's the next day. We ended up having to call it a night last night because we had a new fuel pump ready to go, but the sender wasn't in yet. So we were thinking about trying to reuse the old sender, but the lock ring was just so it was so rusted. There's no chance we were getting it out, and not to mention the fuel gauge wasn't working anyway. So rather than trying to troubleshoot that and maybe find out that it's the sender anyway, we picked up a new sender. So we're going to work on putting that in. Maybe I'll try and film that a little bit. I already transferred over the vent tube. All I did was pop the grommet off, put the grommet in, and then push this part down through the grommet. And it was pretty simple with the fuel pump. We ended up taking a Dremel to the tab here and grinding like maybe a thousandth of an inch off of it to help us get we're having some issues getting the pump in. But that's that. Now we're going to get the sending unit in and hopefully soon start putting it back together. Alright, it's time for this new sender to go in. If you made it this far in the video and didn't know how a fuel gauge worked, all you have is a little float there, and that's connected up to a little potentiometer, and so as your fuel level varies, it varies the resistance of the potentiometer, and then it tells you how much gas you have. So what you have to do is there's a series of tabs, and you should be kind of able to see it. Right next to my hand there's a tab, and it lines up a little slot in the actual tank. And so once you line those up, then you'll be able to get the gauge itself to go in and fit in under those tabs. Sometimes it takes a little finagling to get it in. Like I said, we had some trouble with the other one, but we just got that in. And so now what we do is we take this little, this is the locking ring. So that goes on there, and what you do is it spins. You can take a hammer with a non-ferrous drift pin. You don't really actually need that now because we don't have any fuel in the tank, but the joke about that is that you use that so that you don't make sparks. But then you just use the hammer and you spin that around, and it'll hit a stop. And once it hits that stop, then you're good to go. The sending unit's in there. And that's all there is to it. So we decided to replace the fuel filter as well. That fuel filter was replaced not long ago, but I'm kind of deceiving you a little bit because the bottom of the pan is rusty, but the fuel, it was also rusty because of the old tank that we pulled out. So we decided to replace the fuel filter, and the fuel filter goes up against the frame, well, not against the frame, but up against under the body up there. And so we're just paying attention to the flow direction on that. So basically the way it's pointing right now is the way it's actually going to go, because this hose up here is the one that runs up to the engine. So we're all it is held in there by a hose clamp, but we're putting that back up in there. One other thing here, this grommet here, there would be really like no reason to reuse the old one, so we got a new one of these grommets here. I'm sure it wasn't expensive, and this is just the grommet, the fuel, the filler neck grommet. So that goes in here. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but we're going to put that in there. Just going to lubricate it with a little, just some 30 weight oil or something, just to make it a lot easier to get in there. So we're going to install that and keep working. All right, it's been a little while since I did the update. We did a number of things. There were some heat shields on the top. We put them on. We ended up splicing one of the fuel lines. It's up top. You can't see it anymore. But the reason we did that is that on the return line on the fuel pump, it was like a 3/8 or something, and the old one was a 5/16 or something. I forget what size they were, but either way, we had that problem, so we did that. And so now we got the tank sitting up there. Of course, this is the old plastic shell that goes underneath it to protect it, and we just got it sitting up there on the jack stands again. I don't know if I mentioned, but I put a new grommet in there on the, I think I did mention that, I'm not sure, but I put a new grommet in there for the filler cap. So we are now in the process of putting the straps on. We had some new straps, but they sent us the wrong ones, so we're going to put the old ones on. And this is one of the old ones here. It's actually not in bad shape at all. I mean, it's got a little corrosion going on, but for the time being, it's going to be more than acceptable. So we're going to get those on and kind of finagle the filler neck and get that to go in. It has to go in a little bit more, and then it'll just be little stuff, little bolts and whatnot. So hey, might be time for a test drive soon. All right, we're getting ready. Going to prime the fuel pump. All right, shut it off and do it again. I would just do that, a couple times, and then I think I hear it starting to suck fuel up now. Yeah, just do like maybe 3 or 4 more times. Yeah, now it sounds like it's actually sucking fuel. And I'd say now you can go ahead and try and crank it. Alright, she's booming along. Everything seems okay. Just check for leaks. No problems there. Pop the fuel cap. I'll see if it, make sure we put that in. But yeah, other than that, we'll double check that. And I think we're going to be ready for a test drive.